Welcome to another day with Zimaleta. Today I'm doing a brake change over here right in the parking lot of Pilot Flying J. As you can see, this is Laredo, Texas. As always, there are many trucks in the area. But anyways guys, I'm gonna try to do it quickly and go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm doing here. Well, anyways guys, let's begin. As you could see here, I have two clamps on the brake caliper. This is the front brakes, and they're usually dual pistons, and that's actually what I have here. You will need two clamps, just like I have like right there. All I have done is just remove the caliper just with the two bolts. The bolts are number 13. Just remove them and basically pull out the caliper. You might need to use a hammer to lightly tap it out of there, and maybe like a big screwdriver to try to pry it out of there, and then just squeeze the clamps in there, and like basically the cylinders need to go all the way in, and once they go all the way inside, then it's going to be good. You could go ahead and reinstall the front brake caliper, and the brakes, all I've done is just basically install them. Like I just slid them in there. It was very simple. And then of course you install the brake caliper. It is very simple guys. That's why I really want to show you how simple that is. So now we're gonna go ahead and install it and go ahead and tighten everything up. So that's pretty much it guys. The brake is installed. The sensor is in place, but for some reason the sensor it's not that snug of a fit, but I guess it's okay. But that is all to it guys. So now I have to install the tire. Well, anyways guys, for the tire installation, I kind of like to go ahead and place the tire. Try to make sure that the bolts align kind of like right away, and the best way I found doing it is just by kind of like sitting down like this, lifting it up slightly, then you could see the holes, and you could kind of hold it with your legs or knees, up against it there. And then right now it does not matter in which pattern you actually install the bolts, but once you begin tightening, and make sure you're gonna tighten them using a star pattern, kind of like I'm doing right now, like with my hands basically. That's what you gotta do. And then readjust the tire and go ahead and tighten the bolts some more, and then you want to use an actual wrench to try to tighten it up to where it's going to be kind of snug, because once you actually put the vehicle back down, you don't want it to just kind of like fall out. So you want to put them as snug as possible, and I'm using a star pattern right now, as you guys could tell. There it is, and a little bit more. And of course, once I lower it down, I'm going to go ahead and tighten them up really good again. And that's going to about do it. Alright, so gonna need to drop it now. Continuing changing the tire number 2, the brake job here. So I gotta remove it first and then change the pads. Surprisingly easy to change it if you're willing to do the work. It's definitely not worth paying somebody to do it. So the tire is off. What I like to do is place the tire underneath the van, just in case it decides to fall. Okay. But Gotta make sure I bring the rim portion out. So that's just gonna hit the rim, not that tire itself. Okay. So now we gotta remove these two bolts. Let me see if you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Normal it's number 13. So it looks like that's what this one is. Okay, just find it loose. I like to loosen it like this, and I use a little mini wrench like this, a ratchet I mean, and go ahead and remove the rest of it. In case you guys are wondering, the front brakes are usually dual piston and the rear is usually single, but always check your VIN number to make sure. But you could also look underneath and see if there's two pistons sticking out. If you see it's a dual piston, because the brakes are a little bit different and the sensors are different. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this bolt out completely. It's certainly not necessary, but it makes the job a lot easier. Okay, so that one's loose as well. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Now, for some reason, these brake pads, they don't even look worn. No, they're not worn actually. Which is quite weird. Why would somebody only change one side? Yeah, they're fine. Guess there's no need to really change this one. Take a look at the pad thickness. Do you see it, guys? It definitely seems quite thick, unless I'm missing a picture, but they are looking pretty good. And same thing on this side. You could see the brake pad. It's definitely thick, so it's not necessary to change these. So it looks like I'll have to tighten these bolts back up. Although I could clearly see that the brakes are not worn, I'm gonna go ahead and get in there for a closer look using my flashlight. And obviously you could tell something like this, it's definitely worn. You see nothing but metal. But I clearly see these are good brakes. Definitely no need to replace. Probably should have looked at them to begin with. Sometimes I jump to the conclusion thinking I have to change both sides, and I really don't. Because when I replace brakes, I always change both sides. I never replace just one. Because, you know, it's always, when you replace one, then the other one is going to go out really soon. As you could tell what happened. That's why that other side started rubbing first. Somebody just chose to replace one of them. That's why it's showing that this one is still good. But it's okay. At least I inspected it. So much now I have this out of the way. Okay, so time to install the tire back. So that's up there. So I now have to get it down and tighten them up. Which jack do I use? This is what I use. It's a little bit simpler to use than the round one, but you need something to sit it on. And let me show you what I placed it on. Right in that little corner right here that you see right in the middle of the screen. That's where I put it. Okay guys, what you're looking at is rear differential, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to check rear differential fluid, make sure that, you know, I'm completely topped off. The fluid that I'm going to be using is 75W140 full synthetic gear lubricant. This is a full send. This is a SuperTech brand that I'm using. Normally I use like something like Valvoline, but it's not going to matter. It's the same thing. It's probably just repackaged, rebottled. But I'm going to go ahead and crawl underneath, and I'm just going to go ahead and just top it off, because I'm a little bit concerned. I think I hear my rear differential a little bit louder than I should when up north. So I'm going to cut this little lid off. Climb underneath and just top it off. Normally I would take something like a screwdriver to pop this off. Then you reach in there with the finger to try to feel it. Looks like I have plenty of gear oil, but I'm gonna go ahead and top it off anyways. Oh, it looks like I need to first cut that little portion off. Okay, now it's starting to come out. That's time for me to stop filling it up. So I'm done. So now let me show you what it looks like. Okay guys, this is the rear differential fluid that I've used. I do think it's good because it is full synthetic, 75 by 140. That's the kind of weight that you want to use. It will make your rear differential last a lot longer. So I hope you guys remember this because it's very important. 75 by 140. Now this video is kind of like I'm throwing a lot of stuff in here as far as like changing brakes, and kind of like also doing maintenance when you're on the road and stuff, because it is very, very important. If you don't do it, then your van is going to break down. I don't care what kind of van you have, Sprinter, Ford, GM, I don't know, you know, it doesn't matter. But you need to catch the littlest things and try to service it as quickly as you can. Obviously today I've done a brake job. Very surprising that it was just one side. Every time you're an owner of another vehicle, you just don't know what somebody else did. With this vehicle, I have encountered a lot of different stuff that I needed to do, like a lot of stock stuff. But anyways guys, continue servicing. I'm going to go ahead and check my oil level. I'm gonna get a napkin for that and show it to you guys how it's done and top it off. So I'm gonna go get it now. So you need to reach in to the dipstick and take a look. Looks like, well, turn it upside down like that. It's not a correct reading, but you want to take it out, wipe it off, and reach it back in there, and then check it. As you could see, it's we're kind of like below the max, so looks like I'm gonna have to add about a quarter of fluid. So that's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and replace the stick here. Remove the lid. And there we have it. This is the fluid that I always use. I don't use nothing else. Shell Rotella T6. Too bad they don't sponsor me. If they did, I would be one rich guy. Or at least I'll get some free oil. But anyways, 5W40 full synthetic for extreme temperatures. That's what you want to use. Don't use nothing else, guys. Well, I'm not talking about don't use other brands, but don't use nothing else but full synthetic. Like don't use something like they have, like, man, I don't even have, well, I can't remember now, but I've seen some guys use it and it's not full synthetics and it's not recommended. So, you know, this vehicle is the way it's designed. It needs to be lubricated the proper way, and using wrong type of viscosity will mess that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and top it off. Since last oil change, I put about 7,000 miles on it, but the light is still not on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top it off only halfway, leave myself a half a quart, because I really don't need to put the whole thing in there. And at the end of the oil you know, at the end I'll just change the oil, and that's it. Also, let me show you a little trick, guys, what I do. Okay guys, now that the job is done, it is important to check the fluid level for your oil. Of course, I will not need to add any, but I just want to go ahead and make sure I have enough in here. But I know some of it leaked out when I was pressing this. I will go ahead and top off my fluid. The brake fluid I use is .4 brake fluid. This is full synthetic as well. Yeah, it looks like there was a flood in there. That's why I could not read the reading. So everything's good. Topping up fluids, we have one more to top off, which is very important. It is this one here. Just have to pop this little lid off. And I'm using all season. Basically, this is year round. It's supposed to be like 3-in-1. Repels water, which is nice. And let's see, I think I've seen the, yeah, negative 27 degrees. So yeah, perfect for Michigan weather. We do have freezing conditions still. Might as well top it off. Looks like I still have plenty in there, but it never hurts. Will keep me from pulling over sometime, you know, and running out, especially if I get in one of those icy conditions. Surprisingly, it's taking quite a bit of it. Wow, it's pretty much taking a whole gallon. Wow, how interesting is that? I didn't think it was going to take this much. Let's try to see if I can use all of it. Well, wasn't able to use all of it, but got a little bit left over. I guess I'll top it off a little bit at the later point. Well, we're done here. Close this up. One of the problems that I'm having, guys, is with this. Look how far this windshield wiper goes. This is just ridiculous. I'll try to see if I could fix that really quick. I probably can't because this whole system is just bent out of shape. It's just probably not going to work, but I'm going to attempt it. Turns out there's nothing I could do, guys. There's a plastic piece that's actually broken. That's why it's just flimsy like that. So the only thing I could do is come home, remove another one from my parts van, and boom, install it. Man, it kills having a parts printer, guys. You won't believe how many parts I've already used from it. Like, it's just crazy. So get one if you can. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, take a look at that. You see that little plastic piece, how it's rotating like that? It should stay in this position here, but it's rotating because it's broken. So there's just nothing that could be done. That's kind of stabilized. It's basically that particular piece. It's kind of like a stabilizer bar for it, and now it's not being stabilized. So anyways, guys, everything's done. My service is done, kind of. The only thing I wish I could do is replace my fuel filter, which I can't do right now. I don't have the electronical portion that goes in there because mine is cracked and a little piece of it broke off. Right now it's not causing a problem, but it might cause it at some point. But I'm going to try to order one as soon as I can, and I'm going to also try to pick one up at the dealer if I could pick one up there, and check with the parts store. If I will find one at the parts store, I'm going to let you know, because right now, I'll tell you this, I never bought one before from a parts store or from a dealer, because up until this point, I always had a spare, you know, because I have spare sprinters and stuff. But anyways, guys, I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please hit a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Also keep in mind, this is the kind of videos that I make, expediting videos and sprinter service videos. On my channel, you're going to find over 360 videos that is related to this topic. So good luck, guys, and if I don't have a video up there, please let me know. I'm going to make one as soon as I can, and basically keep you guys happy and, you know, keep things going, keep my channel growing and stuff, because I would like to be the largest source on YouTube sprinter and expedite related on my channel. Of course, you're gonna see a mix of other things that I do just to keep things interesting, you know, some motivational stuff like real estate stuff, and you know, just kind of like my life here and there, like in general, because I am a human being and you guys took interest in that, kind of like what I do every day, you know, stuff like that. So I will definitely share, you know, like different ideas with you, like different business ideas and business strategies and stuff, and because I would like to become a motivational speaker and kind of like a life coach, because looking at the future, I do believe it's going to be a good one for me, and anybody that listens to me and sees me grow probably could learn from, you know, we could all learn from each other and be successful in the end. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and be safe on those roads, guys. We only have just a little bit more left from February, and then we'll be in the springtime, so it should be getting a lot warmer. But anyways, guys, stay warm, be safe, God bless you.